Me staring right back at me. All right, we're going to talk about eminent domain, the use of the wall, the Democrats and the Republicans and the establishment. Democrats and Republicans and the use of the wall because of switching over here. There we go. It's a little slow. They're trying to slow me down because I was just getting with it yesterday, and then I got home and all my electronics didn't work. So excuse me. But here's eminent domain usage. Okay, now they are trying to propose this road. 25 years ago, they used eminent domain, took farms over here to make a highway to bring people to Appalachian State. Now it's 25 years later. It's 2018. They are using eminent domain they're contemplating minimal and making millions of dollars of profit for this area here. They're going to take land here and allocate so these people over here make a bunch of money. And they destroy all the natural resources. People buy property over here, fortify their environment, overwhelming government employees, Democrats, and the STEM community of the schools, the educational elite, the educational elite back up patents and all this stuff, and insurance companies. The academic elitists are going to profit for their salaries. They don't profit from their intervention. They profit from the way they game the system for government grants from the federal government. This is a state organization that games the federal government for grants by having doctorate degrees and participation certificates for these low achievers to get documented as professionals, such as the clinical social worker crew and the lawyers and judiciary felonious government entities. Okay? The only reason they're felonious is because they act felonious. They interpret the law as they see fit for the situation they got instead of for the situation of the situation. What their opinion is what they're going on, and they override laws such as Miranda rights and all that, and during the course of due process at a whim to be obstructionist to any resident's complaint. There's a representative system where the representatives all act unlawful and circumvent the citizen needs and best interest for their salaries of their constituent, their base. And on the Democratic side, their base is the government employees. And on the Republican side, the base is the wealthy and the insurance owners and patent owners and pharmaceutical companies that control the world and suppress technology. They suppress with the patents what children can be taught and what level and what point in their education can they see this material, and who gets locked out permanently and who don't. And these patent laws suppress our ability to implement 200-year-old technology that was commonplace 50 years ago, and now average physics doctorate wouldn't even recognize any of the components. They just do everything to suppress common sense material. Gears, they got patents that prevent people from being able to manufacture gears, necessary for centrifugal energy generation devices, and just typical stuff that they should have. Enforce the law that allows somebody to pirate this technology for a little bit of loot and store it away where none of his competitors can ever see it for generations. And then steer the generations to an alternative avenue of innovation and just tuck these materials away and these innovations away to control the market of a fake economy, to use eminent domain to break up all the land trusts that produce food and keep little counties across the nation capable of independence. They independent. They want to take this entity right here, the federal government, the state university, and use grants, and then the county has to get grants to facilitate the utilities necessary for this. And it's a game. North Carolina is gaming the federal government for grants and everything. Our forests are so neglected, absolutely terribly neglected. If they burn and destroy all these $1 million houses of the retired world's elite that live in this county, what a state of emergency, $1 million third home got burnt down. Oh, well, did you clean the yard up any? No, we had low growing rhododendrons everywhere. And then we had sticks that fell last year in the ice storm and the tornadoes. And then we had a mudslide and all this stuff. We need a national emergency. Send us some money, federal government. We neglected to clean up our woods. Oh, we were preserving the natural habitat. No, there is no natural habitat left to preserve on the face of this earth unless it's in a national park. Because the eminent domain of government employees on the county and town level all across this nation have absolutely sporadicated every material and plant, every food producing independent solution plowed under for a fake economy so they can develop a fake economy that will let insurance companies have governments mandate insurance to secure people's holdings against liabilities. But the people's holdings are servicing all these layers and layers and layers of taxation without any real commodities. And when you go to get a commodity that you've been paying and participating with, like the Social Security system, say you got to get a team of doctors and lawyers to petition the government for you to even get decent. No, you don't even get decent. You don't get nothing. They charge an overpriced ransom for education. They make you take out loans after the residents and the participants already paid for it. It should be only a merit-based system, and it shouldn't be, we'll neglect all their education until they get into the secondary tier of education called college, and then we'll charge them a ransom to learn how to screw in a light bulb. Then we'll charge them another ransom after they learn how to do it to certify them so they're allowed to do it. Eminent domain has destroyed every backbone of this country. Property tax in this county has dried up every furniture factory, poultry producing, everything anybody tried to do in this county. The government employees raised the taxes to draw all the little hobby shops and storefronts. They've driven it out, and they've left a college where the college kids toil, and they like, oh, well, all this bickering will stop if we invent this. If we document and provide a system, and they'll adopt it, and then it'll be the status quo, and I'll get the credit. Look, a dehumidifier that pulls water out of the air. Let's ship that to Africa, where they're having a it's patent. We can't apply it there. If we apply it there, we're breaching that patent. Well, let's put that technology on shelf until we figure out something that hadn't been patented. Got it. Right. That's going to put them out of business, and we're going to have clean water and clean air again. What? The government took your invention. Why? Developmental reasons? They used what? Eminent domain? Oh, let's use that, Francois, on the insurance companies. Take the insurance companies, because if the government mandates insurance to litigate liabilities and faults and all this stuff, let the government centralize and operate such systems of how would you do that? Through a debit card. And with every percent that you spend, it takes care of your liability for the merchandise you buy, and it takes care of the utilities to travel to get that merchandise home, and it takes care of the utilities to be sure that merchandise is secure. A sales tax system instead of a tax on my vehicle, which I might just have a mobile home or something on wheels called an RV. Maybe one day I could build a RV. I could never afford to pay $40,000, $50,000 for one, or $1,000 for one. But if I was a school teacher that made 4 times as much as minimum wage in their community, maybe I could build a house, buy an RV, buy a shed to hide the RV in, and nobody'd ever know in 1 year. It is amazing what everybody's doing these days to game the system. It's absolutely a disgrace the way the system's using eminent domain for everything but good. We don't need roads. We're beyond roads. We should have helicopters and drones everywhere 50 years ago. We don't need to take land with eminent domain and build a fence. We got other alternatives, and that does include electronic monitoring tools. And guess what? You can't respond in the time it takes a person to walk a mile through the country. You're not very good law enforcement, and I feel neglected there too. We got to get first responders and deputies in every fire department across this nation, with a bus system going to every fire department, stopping at every intersection upon request in this nation. We got to stop micromanaging where we implement modern tools in this nation. We got to give people commodities for civil participation, because I, for one, do transact a lot of cash, but I don't make any money to show, period. Not even $1 can I show I profited from 2018. I am so far in the hole from just the last 6 months of 2016. It is funny. And I don't want to be in the hole at the end of 2019. So I got to really wrap up this whole thing and let you guys know that it's a alternative way to, we just need to tweak what we have. We got amenities and we got all these things that can facilitate it, but we have to get rid of the insurance companies, and we have to bring the patents for medical treatments and stuff into the public domain to bring down the cost and drop inflation to reality. Stop allowing government employees on the town and the county levels to charge a ransom to on everything that we're able to have. We shouldn't have to go out here every single day, spend $50 on transportation, and get the government employees $1.60. Well, I got around it. I mean, that's ridiculous. My vehicles are my deficit. Big time deficit every year. You guys have taken the cake. These people do nothing but vote themselves more money, raising inflation. Oh, well, there's only 800,000. Yeah, but there's something that keeps the ceiling up. Like in '08, when everybody else in the country collapsed, and the government employees were still standing, still drawing and demanding capital money. And people, I got 5 years behind this last decade and was not able to recover until Obama left. I don't know how I'm going to do this year. I have to game the system a little bit, just like Trump, just like the Democrats. Democrats do it for their paycheck. I do it for insurance, to where I have to lay myself off if I make almost too much money. Is how I operated a couple years ago. I had to lay myself off because if I made any more money working, I would not be eligible for the Medicaid that is almost a necessity to every single parent in the country. All right. Everybody game system. I had to do what I had to do because not because I couldn't afford housing, not because I couldn't afford electricity, not because I couldn't afford food, but because I couldn't afford the medical ransom the patent holders and the government employees demand I pay the patent holders and the insurance companies to procure a minimal health for my family. No other way to say it. I had to game the system just like the government employees neglect certain children's education in the schools, so they'll have a class of special needs students in which they can use to check a box on the grant request. I don't know what it's called anymore. Form, procurement form. I don't know the slang for it anymore. Procurement form for appropriations from the block grant of the state or whoever. We got to stop allowing these governments to game us so we're always working and not living. A great large population work because they're not allowed to have a property without having to pay a ransom and maintain that property. They're not allowed to farm because farming doesn't create enough revenue to service the county's ransom for just being a resident. We got to stop allowing the town, county, state, and federal tiers of government to game each other, to intimidate and harass and bully civilians around the globe. No, not just in the country, but around the globe. In our name, they harass, bully, suppress people domestically and foreignly. In our name, people go across the globe and attack and harass anybody with a weapon and defend anybody's oil field. They've done it. What was all this? They keep protecting people's wealth. They keep protecting people's wealth. They're not protecting people's lives. They're protecting people's wealth, but they're being told they're protecting lives. No, you're not protecting lives going on across the world trying to push a group over here and a group over there. I could be the best person in the world, and for one glimpse, you deem me an enemy, target me, eliminate me, and nobody'd ever know different. I could be the worst person in the world, and you catch a glimpse of me acting properly for a few years, couple dozen years, you'll let me go. Or if I participate in your system and hide as the worst person, and I'm the law and implementing the law as the worst person because I knew this is the place to hide. It's all a bunch of game in the system, and we got to see through it. I mean, you can see through it. I can't probably get you to understand it, but we got to do it. I got to go work. Because I'm a slave, motherfucker.